Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. I am so excited for this interview, this discussion. I'm almost vibrating. We have the one and only Sean from Think Media, somebody who saved me on my last flight. Thank you very much for this book. It's a lifesaver. How you doing, buddy?
Michael Zuber, I'm super grateful to be on the channel. I'm a big fan. I watch daily financial news every day. And on behalf of people who haven't been able to verbally thank you, I just want to thank you for all the value you add, how generous you are with your knowledge, with your time, and your inspiration to do the work.
Wow.
You've been hustling, and I know you've been doing the work with your buy box and all of that, but you've also been doing the work with content creation. That's my specialty. And so I see it. I think you've posted more videos than me. You just crossed 9,000 or something. I'm like, wow, you're definitely hustling. And so it's an inspiration to all of us. And thank you.
I appreciate that. We will definitely talk about my channel in a minute, but I actually want to set this up for the audience. I believe, if you've heard my channel, that we're heading into a recession. I think it will be a couple of years. And I think what you've done with this YouTube Secrets is what a lot of people need to go pick this up, because here's the deal. In a recession, it's time to make moves. And I believe we are heading into a decade or two where individuals can become a brand. You call it a creator. I think there's so many things. And I think starting in a recession is the exact right time. So I want to talk about that. And then more importantly, give advice on how people can pick a topic, because that's where I think a lot of people go wrong, is they pick something they think makes money because others are, but it's not their thing. It's not the thing that lights them on fire. So I want to talk about creating a brand, starting a channel at the starting of a recession, and then how should they pick that thing? What do you think?
No, I love it. And I do think, kind of starting with the story is Think Media, our YouTube channel is now over 2 million subscribers. It's grown from kind of a personal brand. I'm a college dropout, small town kid, started shooting videos in my bedroom. And now it's a team of 20 W-2 employees, 10 contractors, which is really weird and overwhelming because I'm trying to figure out how to be a CEO, content creator to CEO and run a business. But saying that, Think Media started in the hardest season of my life. The first video was uploaded in 2010. And just a few months earlier, we were just absolutely getting crushed personally. I mean, we bought 2 houses back when we could just declare our income. We thought we would eat top ramen, not turn on the baseboard heaters because they were older houses, to save money on electricity. There was a wood fire stove and we had roommates. We were house hacking before we knew the term. And we had roommates and we said, listen, you either wear a jacket or build a fire, but you cannot turn on the baseboard heaters. They're too expensive. Wow. Thinking we were speculating on appreciation. And then the bubble burst, 2008. So we were losing our rental. We did it wrong. And we were losing a house that had another family and 2 other rooms in it. We had to short sell that one. On top of that, I was working at a church. The church was falling apart. So I learned a lot of leadership, good things and bad things in that season. But that was crazy to have my world disrupted. My wife and I had been there like 8 years. And then my wife got very sick and she almost died actually in 2009 from a chronic illness that just got very severe. Fast forward to today, good news is through medical treatment, prayer, and just perseverance, we have a couple kids and we made it through all that. But that, to paint the picture, right, it was not just like the recession, the Great Recession, but it was also a personal recession. And I had an option in that moment to get bitter or to choose to get better. Kind of the option, like you even talk about that on this channel, like we all have options going through this recession. We could just kind of hunker down. We can either, be in fear or we can start getting prepared. And I think we could either just go on all defense, but to your point, no, I think you got to start playing offense. And one of those opportunities is to start a side hustle and start a YouTube channel. And so I started Think Media back in 2010, and we can, talk about it. There's so many different ways you can, earn extra income. Maybe you're an agent and you're looking for ways to earn extra income. For me, it was affiliate marketing. The fact that you could talk about, different products and services you use. And eventually that was a full-time income that led to financial freedom for my wife and I, but then we scaled it past that into a business. And so I think that, that the hardest times in our lives present the biggest opportunities to reinvent ourselves. And yes, I think it was like Napoleon Hill that said, in the seed of every failure or hardship, there's an equal seed of opportunity for innovation, for turning it around. And so I think recession, this is the time to go all in on the side hustle.
No, I agree. And I think YouTube is the anchor. It is the platform you start with. I think anything you do around content creation or affiliate marketing or any of these other medias, I think everybody's got to have a base, got to have a foundation. And that is, in my opinion, the best one is YouTube. And again, it's one, my first several videos were on my phone in my kid's bedroom, right? It does become more. It's, I think, and again, I think a recession is when people make moves. You have a choice in a recession. You can retreat, or you can go, no, I'm going to thrive and I'm going to make some moves. And I can't imagine, right, going through a loss of a rental, losing a house hack, your wife's illness. I mean, that's the job. I mean, your world is ending, and you choose to turn on a camera and talk about, what became Think Media. Just think about that, folks. What Sean was going through, because a lot of you are in a situation that is 1/10 of what that was, and you're afraid to get started. It is going to be, recessions are the time, because what happens in a recession? You have more time. You're not doing the movies. You're not eating out. You're not doing this. So you might as well do something productive. And everybody starts with 0 followers. You didn't have 1 million followers day one, right? It starts with 0.
It starts with 0. And I think as we get into some practical tips, I think those are some of the initial hurdles you have to overcome. Number one, it starts with 0 and you're not getting views. And so it's really hard to be motivated when you spend 7 hours putting together or planning a video or editing a video and you only get 7 views. Like, that's discouraging. Yeah. Not only that, when you get on camera, you watch it back and you're like, man, I sound weird. I look weird. I don't know how to do this. Your first videos are your worst videos. They're terrible, and then you're comparing yourself to, you've done 9,000 videos. I think that's the thing the listener needs to consider, though, is that like your openings dialed, you're putting 3 interviews, you got all these, experts lined up, millionaires lined up, sharing their information. And it's like, yeah, you've been doing this though. And your first videos were probably your interview skills, your teaching skills. It's all evolved because you punched fear in the face, punched perfectionism in the face, and you pressed record. And so really, when it comes to starting, truly, as overly motivational as it may sound, like, Sean, what are the tactics? I mean, the tactics are, you have to overcome the fear and just start. I've learned this. You cannot steer a parked car. So you've got the book, YouTube Secrets. It gives you the tips. But again, if it just stays in the book and it's just knowledge, but it's not put into practice, it's not going to work. And a lot of people stay there. And so some people want to get all the information first. I think you just got to start moving. I imagine you've probably, some of your greatest lessons in real estate didn't come from a book, but they came from pain of, whoops, I underbid that renovation. Your greatest lessons were, whoops, I could have done that better in negotiation, and I should have said that. And so the same thing's going to be true. I would encourage you listening to this. This is a big challenge, Michael, that I'm putting out there, is everyone listening to this has a smartphone. They clearly have an internet connection, because that'd be the only way to connect to this, whether it's on their phone, that you can post you could set up your YouTube channel today and upload your first video today. Yeah. Of course, you want to brand it right, name it right. I know we're going to talk about that in a future video, but it's like you could just start though. Pick something like a better, there was a quote from a military general that said, a good plan violently executed today is better than a perfect plan executed next week or next year. It's like, of course we need some strategy, but you got to just start making some videos, and then you can tweak them as you go and improve them as you go.
Yeah. I think there's 2 things that I would tell someone who's thinking about it. One is, I believe, and you could see it on my channel, a lot of people get wrapped around the axle about creating a perfectly edited video. Guess what? My 9,000 videos, not a single one's been edited. This video won't be edited. Ims, haws, whatever. It is what it is. I think people just need to I would tell people the first 100 videos, don't even bother editing. Because I think a lot of people go, to your point, I'm going to spend 7 hours editing the video and I'm going to get 7 views. Well, guess what? Don't edit the video and post it anyway. What the hell?
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think also there's a lot of, I bring you up, I probably brought you up 5 to 10 times because I love your model because it's sustainable. There's a lot of wisdom. You're outsourcing thought leadership to other experts.
Mhm.
If you had to come up with like something profound to say in all 9,000 videos, that'd be challenging. You also created a format like daily financial news. Now it's more optimized, 5 things.
Yeah.
Like creativity
That's
works
because of you,
best.
by the way. That's you.
Oh, that's
Your
amazing.
book that you
Uh,
gave me that. I'm like, oh, dude, I should do that. Yes.
um, creativity works best in constraints. So
Mhm.
sometimes what happens for individuals is they go off the rails of like, well, if I started talking about a topic, well, I'd probably have to talk about this. I'd have to talk about this. And so if you can kind of narrow it down, something
Yes.
like if you called it 5-minute Friday, like just that alone saves you the fact that I have to share something in less than 5 minutes. It's coming out on Friday. There's the constraint. And now I can
Exactly.
actually simplify things down. And I want to encourage, the key here for starting, and in the book we talk about this, there's a picture, is okay, so what do I start my channel about? It's going to be at the intersection of your passion, your proficiency, and your profit. So you're passionate about finances and real estate. You're also proficient at it. You have experience in it. And it can also be profitable in the sense of there's not only, I mean, you're leaving a lot of money on the table in the sense, and I see that comes from a place of generosity, but like the niche you're in, the CPM of this niche, even the ad revenue and whatnot, is higher when you're talking about finance, business, personal finance, real estate. So even just YouTube ads, but you're incredibly generous with your course, so much value there and all these different things. But the punchline is, if you're going to be starting a side hustle, we got to dial in all those things. What are you passionate about? What are you proficient in? Have some experience in, curious about, a few steps ahead in, and then how are we going to monetize that? Then that gives you what the channel is about. And I mean, one rental at a time. When did this start?
One real at a time is 2018,
Yeah. Okay.
October of
So,
18.
and it would almost, did you have any doubt when you were starting, or was it pretty clear? You're like, I mean, I know what it's going to be about. It's kind of like, as far as picking the topic, because you mentioned that.
Yeah. So again, the thing that I want people to realize when starting is you have to pick something that lights you on fire. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Something that you're willing to talk about and not be paid, right? Because when I started the channel, I had no idea that monetization was a thing.
Mm.
This is Sean, this is why I started the channel. I wanted to have something that lived 50 years after I was dead. So I have a book, and the YouTube channel was the anchor. It has grown to be so much more than that because of guys like you showing me what's possible. But I didn't do it for the monetization. I did it because I knew that this changed my life, and I believe in leaving the world better than I found it. And now, thankfully, because of YouTube, I've helped tens of thousands of people and have evidence and stories to prove it. And I'm well on my way to creating something that lives 50 years after I'm dead. So that's what YouTube was for me.
Well, that's beautiful. And I would argue that if you're really going to do YouTube well and push through the challenges of how hard it is, or when you don't feel like doing it, you said what lights you up. It's another way of saying the first P, which is
Yeah.
passion. Like you want to be
Yes.
a thing that also continues to fascinate you. A thing when you're passionate about it, it's the thing you want to read about, talk about. It's
Mm-hmm.
the thing that if we squeeze you, that's what comes out. It's like let's talk about the economy, let's talk about strategy. But then on top of that, there has to be a level of proficiency. And this kind of, I think, discourages some people because they go, oh, I'm not as good as this person, or I'm not as far as that person. You just have to be a few moves ahead, but there's no doubt about it. You need some time under your belt. Like, so I like to encourage people. They're like, well, I kind of want to start maybe a mom channel, like kind of talk about raising kids. But, I only have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, and things are going good, but they're like, not really. And you're like, you're steps ahead. Like you got
Oh,
3
absolutely.
kids, you got
Yeah.
a lot of, and you can share out of your journey. Probably one of the most powerful things you can share out of is your mistakes. Proficiency means you have some skin in the game, some time in the game. You have some results. Maybe you have more mistakes. Failures are the stepping stones of success. So even just your heart of service to help people avoid the mistakes you've made. And then that's one of the things we help people with the most is then it's like, well, Sean, but how will this make money? I love that you started with kind of that mission first, realizing that monetization can follow. But if we're starting a side hustle, like we really can practically set up a business plan to say, okay, this side hustle may not bring in money right away. That's oftentimes it takes time, just like any other small business. A lot of times they say the small businesses, they're not profitable until 18 months, 24 months, 36 months. But this recession could be pretty bad. And
Yeah.
so if you start now, how much farther are you ahead in 8 months? How much farther are you ahead in 16? And you're going to be really grateful that you planted seeds today for the harvest you want to reap tomorrow. You know, it reminds me of, I did an interview show like yours on our video influencer channel. My co-author Benji and I interviewed all these different entrepreneurs and YouTubers creating content. And one of the channels that was started was Do It on a Dime, also started in recession. So Do It on a Dime, really smart because she was thoughtful, not just about her passion and knowledge about couponing, saving. How do you just do day-to-day things and household goods, take care of your family on a budget? But it was also right time, right place for that topic for her to grow. A couple million subscribers now. She started back, I think, around 2010. And again, you're in this recession, and that's the question that people are asking. And so when I also think about topic, I think if you could be in the intersection of your passion, your proficiency, but also profit. Profit also is like the total addressable market. Profit's also about, okay, maybe there's 3 things I've narrowed it down to. Which of those 3 things would be best right now, or which of those 3 things? That'd be a little bit of strategy in terms of positioning. And of course that was who she was, but it blew up because that was what everybody was asking about at that particular moment. My friend Levi, living in Dallas, his as a real estate agent, him and his partner blew up 93 million top line transactions down to 3 million in terms of commissions over the last couple of years. Obviously, the market's a little bit different now, but I don't know how hot Dallas is. But all that to say was part of that was also being in the right place at the right time because of how many people were moving to Dallas. Of course, the strategy, the content, everything else. And so positioning, you want to, hopefully, if you can row with the current, that's going to be a lot better than trying to swim upstream or row upstream. And that could be a little bit of strategy about what topic you pick for your channel as well.
Yeah. So as we close up this first episode, I'd love you just to paint a vision, because even I sit here 4 years on YouTube, don't know all the ways that a YouTube channel, once it has momentum, can be monetized, right? Obviously, there's ad revenue. I have a book, I have a course, but there's lots of other things that may happen from this. Paint a vision of what's possible so people know that the early investments could be worth it. What are some other things people can do with this brand?
Really quick, I think it's important to know that Influencer Marketing Hub released a report, and these are probably some old numbers now, that 2 million content creators are earning over 6 figures a year.
Wow.
Now, you're not being put into that category. Like this is saying directly from some of the things we're about to talk about, because you start tapping into entrepreneurs, real estate investors, that revenue is not being calculated. So this is a very lucrative opportunity. I think it's also important to note that while we go through the storm over the next few years, brands, businesses need content creators. Like it might not even be the way your habits are, because you're like, oh, I don't really buy or follow somebody and what they recommend or the brand deal, but people are. So it's like, don't project your behavior. Realize that brands want to pay influencers. And so the list would be monetization. Once you start getting views, YouTube will pay you for views. They're about to start paying for shorts at a whole nother level. That starts February 2023. There's all kinds of other on-channel features, super chats and super thanks. And over time, I think you had the exact right kind of start point, which is like, I'm here to serve. But what's cool is that our income is directly correlated to the amount of value we give to the marketplace. If you serve, create a great channel, then the money will follow. Literally, once you qualify for monetization, you need 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, and then YouTube will start paying you. Secondly, affiliate marketing. And I think there's a lot of different opportunities. I've done camera reviews. That's how cameras, microphone, lighting. But people could do hair, makeup, beauty. You could be an affiliate for Dick's Sporting Goods, Nordstrom, Bass Pro Shop, software. And so if you help people, package what they know in an online course, you could be an affiliate for ClickFunnels, Kajabi, and that could be very lucrative. You could start a membership community, and you could do that right on YouTube. It's called channel memberships. And so maybe there's some premium content that you put there, or you just leak your videos early to your members. They get like different stickers in chat. My friend Emily Baker, I think, has had, over 100,000 concurrent viewers. So she is a DA, a district attorney lawyer in LA. Now she's in Nashville, but now she commentates on these big, like, celebrity case, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. She like opens up the court case,
Yeah.
reads it line by line, commentates it, and she calls her community the law nerds. Well, to even be able to comment, you have to be at a level of channel memberships to keep it healthier, like $1. And then there's like a couple different levels. And so that's another one is memberships or Patreon or things like that. And then I think the other thing is you get into products and services. And so you get into the fact people can do their Etsy shop. You might do something like merch. Yes, if you create your own book or ebook, but other products and services is that if a lead is valuable to you, if a customer is valuable to you, or you're doing freelancing or consulting, again, you really, I know you talk about you need new skill sets, maybe not just in your bucket of like real estate skill sets, but even outside of that, like you could create, you could totally replace your income by maybe creating some kind of service using YouTube as lead gen. And then you say, I need 4, 5, 8 clients a month, and I'm making more than I was in this past season. You know, every entrepreneur solve problems for a profit. And so this recession is about to bring a lot of problems, which are opportunities for entrepreneurs. So it's just kind of like, what problem can you solve? Can you put that into a product of some kind or service of some kind? Or can you, back to affiliate marketing, sort of do referrals to somebody else that's doing it? You could be the DJ in a way. You educate, you help, you serve, and you point somebody else to an agency for marketing services or for some other kind of services. So those are just a few. I think at Think Media, we have 21 different active and passive income streams.
Wow. That's awesome.
And so there's a lot of opportunity, but it's not about getting overwhelmed. It is about maybe seeing the vision, but then getting down to, where you are today. And as you always say, just starting to do the work.
Amen. Well, do yourself a favor, folks. This is the time. Go get this book. I've read it. I actually read it almost twice. Almost got through it. I had 2 flights. Almost got through it twice. Get this book right now on Amazon. Highly recommended. It actually, I have a new channel called Orat Shorts because of this. I'm thinking about a name for my community because of this. There are so many things in this that are making my channel better and better already. Sean, I appreciate you. And Benji, the co-author of the book. Where can people find you?
Sean Cannell, rhymes with YouTube channel, and everyone on social media at the name. And then Think Media is the YouTube channel. If you're like, okay, but what camera or lighting, or I want that cool USB microphone and the headphones that Michael Zuber's been doing, your studio is great. I mean, if you like that kind of stuff, will help you start creating content on any budget.
Did not start here. Did not start here.
Exactly. And 1% better. But if we check out Think Media for all of those kind of tech, video gear, and more YouTube tips.
Go follow them right now, Think Media, and get the book on Amazon. Thanks, buddy.